What's up, everybody? This is Zenith Keyspray, the Archangel Feather, and Happy New Year! At least that's what I wish I could say, but I realize that I am a little bit late on it. My computer would not cooperate with my recordings. As a matter of fact, I downloaded a new program to do recordings with, but even that is being skeptical of doing my voiceovers, so I'm having to do the voiceovers in increments, so that's what's taking so long. But you're not here to listen to me complain about my computer, you're here to watch a card game. So let's get down to business with that. We have a new Angel Feather unit, in fact two new units to discuss, but one of them will not be in today's replay. I'll still go over her in a little while, but we have the Love Sniper No Seal and the Holy Seraph No Seal. And I want to take a quick moment to say, guys, if I'm mispronouncing the name, leave a comment in the description below to tell me how to pronounce it correctly so that I can get it right in future videos. I don't want to keep making that mistake. Now let's talk about this new unit, Love Sniper. Her ability, when she rides the Vanguard Circle, it's Love Machine Gun skill. You do a hand swap, and then in addition to that, as long as she is your Vanguard, anytime another no-seal goes to the damage zone, you can counterblast one, and then as long as that no-seal is still face up, add it back to your hand and send the top card of your deck to the damage zone. For those who are wondering, yes, that means that she can even activate her own ability, provided the top card that is sent is another no-seal unit, and you have another counterblast to do so. Now let's talk about what that means for Angel Feather. That means that we have another way of getting hard pluses. The previous method had to be through Gavrail and the other Black Graver units, such as Black Slice Harut, Medical Bomber Nurse. I don't know if she's technically a Black Graver unit, but she was also a way to get pluses, and Doctroid Primus. So having this new card has been a wonderful addition to the game, even though some people were skeptical about her ability in the beginning. Now since her release, I have been testing different versions of Angel Feathers. If you guys remember from Season 1, I've already tested out Metatron and Gavrail in the deck that I lovingly named DN Angel. I've now made Metatron with Love Sniper called Crimson Sniper, which is what you're watching right now. I've also made Love Sniper with Gavrail, which I call Black Cupid, and I've also made what I call Heaven's Trinity, which uses all three of them in the same deck. I'll go ahead and note, I think Heaven's Trinity is more of a fun deck than anything else. In fact, if you were to ask me which deck I think is the most competitive, I would have to say I think that Love Sniper and Gavrail edges it out, because both units are a very solid ride for your Vanguard. Gavrail being the stride enabler, every time you stride, you pretty much break even as long as you only use one card for it, and you're still getting a solid advantage in terms of maintaining consistency, whereas Love Sniper gives you all these additional pluses to keep your defenses and your offenses relatively high. Not to mention, both of them were great with Battle Cupid as a guard, since Battle Cupid can raise Gavrail's power, where Battle Cupid can also be free shield for Love Sniper in terms of replacing herself. And both of them utilize the Pegasus units and Broken Heart incredibly well. They can both use Love's machine gun, though Gavrail probably has some more preferable options, but the deck itself is solid as a whole. Now with that said, don't discount Metatron just yet, because if you're using Love Sniper with Metatron, the deck is really good on the offensive, where Love Sniper and Gavrail is really good on the defensive. In fact, Metatron, for those of you who don't always recognize this little tactic, Metatron can rival, if not surpass, Raziel, because Raziel requires your units to be on the field, which is difficult when you're facing decks like Narukami, Link Joker, Gear Chronicle, and the like. Not to mention, if you're using Love Sniper and Crimson Roar, your deck has a pretty solid anti-grade lock game. And what I mean by that is, if your opponent, let's say you're playing against Royal Paladin or Ripples or something like that, they like to sit on grade 2 to force the opponent to grade 3 first, thus hindering them from being able to use Stride or Legion before the opponent. Well, with Love Sniper and Metatron, neither one of them rely on Stride or Legion to use their abilities, and so they can build a very good counter game against them. Metatron can combine the power of a Million Ray and Thousand Ray with her first ability. That means you don't even need Limit Break just yet. All you need is a Pegasus column, and her skill once, you have a 20,000 power column. Even a grade 2 10,000 base still has to put out 15,000 shield or take the hit. And as I've said with Love Sniper already, she builds your hand size for defenses, so you're not so pressured by the opponent. And speaking of defenses, if you'll notice the video right now, I've got Battle Cupids providing defense against the Warning, who's attacking my entire front row. By using the Battle Cupids and Love Sniper's ability, who, by the way, she even picked up that extra Love Sniper in my hand, I've built an extra 10,000 power to my entire front row so that I was able to effectively guard against 2 of the 3 attacks from the Warning with 3 pass guards. My Pegasus was allowed to be defeated because I didn't want to put out the shield for that, and ultimately at that moment, because of what was available in my hand, losing 1 million Ray wasn't going to make a difference. And just so you guys know, as always, there will be a link in the description below if you wish to download this replay to watch on your card fight area program. Keep in mind though, I've had to edit the video to remove some time gaps where my opponent or myself stepped away, so you will experience a few minutes of no play in the video, in the replay itself. Now let's talk about Love Sniper in the battlefield. I've actually found with using her that you don't really require stride very much. You do want to at least stride once to go ahead and get Broken Heart, Azrael, and Refros active, but after that you could probably go 1 or 2 turns without needing to stride whatsoever. You still might need to stride for a Raphael to release some pressure, or you'll stride for your finisher later unless you're going to use Metatron if you're using that build. And the reason that you wouldn't want to stride too much with her is because some of your units you're going to use during your turn. Happy Bell, Love Machine Gun, Doctroid Refros. Those units could add cards to your hand with Love Sniper's ability, so you're going to want to have her as your vanguard at least for a brief period of time. Based on the amount of advantage that she can build to your hand, you probably won't miss stride anyway, especially if you have at least a Broken Heart or 2 on the field. And let's talk about damage for just a quick moment, because I've done some math with Love Sniper. If you were to max out the no-seals, between them and your trigger count, you've got around about a 50-50 chance, maybe a little bit higher than that, of your damage checks being either a no-seal and or a trigger. And of course I say and or because of Happy Bell, who was a stand trigger. So honestly, taking damage with the deck, you still want to make sure you do damage control, but even if you take damage, you can still gain advantage off of it, just depending on what's in your hand, what's on the field, and what is going to be your damage. Now let's talk about the new stride for a moment. Even though you won't see her in this video, I'm certain you will see her in some upcoming games. The new stride, Holy Seraph No-Seal, who told us that there was going to be a grade 3 no-seal because of what she requires for her ability. When using the new Holy Seraph, when she attacks, if your heart has a no-seal in its name, you're able to do a Metatron move. Basically, you take 2 rear guards, put them in the damage zone, and swap for any 2 cards in the damage zone to the field. This means you can target face downs, so essentially you could countercharge 2 off the ability. In addition, any no-seal that she calls to the field gets a 5,000 power bonus, which means that your offense is still going to be pretty strong, depending on what you call. You could call 2 Happy Bells and still have an 18,000 power column, which of course is going to be not advised. You don't want to call triggers to the field unless you're calling them to use later, like Doctroid Refros. On the other hand, if you go on the other extreme, you could use Love Sniper with Battle Cupid and have a 27,000 power column because of Holy Seraph's ability. And now, of course, you don't have to call just 2 no-seals. You could also call 1000 Ray as a booster. You can make a column with Love Machine Gun and 1000 Ray. That column is already going to be 20,000 power when you call it back. And then you're going to use Love Machine Gun's ability. If you don't use Love Machine Gun, I will be ashamed of you, because you've got at least 3 cards in your hand. You just attacked with a stride. Don't be silly. So using Love Machine Gun, you'll have a 22,000 power column because it brings 1000 Ray up another 2,000 power. And these are just moves that you could make if you didn't even hit a stand trigger. Just think about the capabilities if you hit at least 1 stand trigger. You could target 1000 Ray. In fact, let's assume the one you target was late to the party and doesn't have any power boost whatsoever. It's just a 7,000 booster. So we'll target this 1000 Ray with a stand trigger. It now stands to boost again and has an extra 5,000 power. Then you use Holy Seraph's ability, swap 2 rear guards, and let's say one of the rear guards you bring back, the one in front of that 1000 Ray, is a Love Machine Gun. Then you use Love Machine Gun's ability. That adds another power boost to that 1000 Ray, who just got 4,000 from Holy Seraph. So now That thousand ray is 18,000 power after using Love Machine Gun. And because Love Machine Gun was called back by Holy Seraph, it has 13,000. You're attacking with a 31,000 power column from scratch. Just imagine how powerful that would be if that thousand ray already had a power boost behind it because of looping Dr. Refros, using other no-steal abilities, whatever you may have done to improve its power. So the Holy Seraph is clearly another form of a finisher if Raziel can't do the work himself. And best of all, Love Sniper being your vanguard, you could actually use Holy Seraph No Seal as your first stride if you wanted to, because she doesn't have a generation break restriction or require anything else being already face up to use her effect. So you could target her for your first stride, or Uriel, or if you're using Gavriel, Bliza. You can do whatever you want to, just make sure that you're playing smart. You don't want to use a finisher for your first if you could use it later for the kill. Now this video is going to be ending in just a couple of minutes. As you see, I've just ridden into Crimson Roar, and I want to take this moment and say that the new cards that have come out for Angel Feathers have just been absolutely wonderful for me, because it basically revived my old deck. Back before we got the Stride era, my old deck used to be Metatron, and I would use Love Machine Guns quite a bit, so it was a very common combination for my opponents to see Crimson Impact and Love Machine Gun combine their efforts to make some really powerful columns with minimal counterblast deficiencies. And so having Crimson Roar and Love Sniper as my vanguards now, I can't tell you how happy it makes me that my old deck comes back even better than ever. So that's going to be just about time for this video, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave some comments. Tell me about your experiences with Angel Feather. I'd like to see what you guys are doing with the deck and what you guys are finding works and what doesn't. Also, if you have any particular clans you would like me to face so that you can get my input on how you fight it, leave those in the comments below. I'll try seeking out some opponents with those clans. Win, lose, or draw, I'll post the videos to show you guys what I did so we can see what works, what doesn't, and heck, who knows, maybe I'll get to learn some things from this. So, thanks again for watching. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. As you can see, my opponent is trying to figure out that last guard, but ultimately he forfeits it because there's no way he can guard everything. He doesn't even have a sentinel. So, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope to see you guys in future videos. Oh, and before I leave, I haven't forgotten, I told you guys I'm going to be making Royal Paladin and Nova Grappler replays as well. So make sure you stay tuned, and until the next time, guys, this is Zenith Keys Ray, the Archangel Feather, and I'll see you in the next video.